Hey everybody, it is Eric Lucas over at GG Homes, your favorite real estate investor. And today I wanted to make a quick video on how to present investor offers to your seller. By far, one of the biggest objections I get from agents is that, well, my seller doesn't want to just wholesale the property or do a quick sale. They want to fix it up and put it on the market to take advantage of the red hot real estate boom that we are experiencing right now. And while I completely understand that, especially if your seller watches HGTV, if you show them the numbers and you also mention some of the risks that they will incur, it might actually be a better deal for them to take a quick cash offer, because the actual net that they might get from selling to an investor versus listing after a full rehab and paying for all the construction costs might be very similar, if not exactly the same. So a particular scenario I want to discuss today is there was a property that was worth about $575,000 fixed up. $575 would be the ARV. Now for us, we could make this property pretty for about 55 grand. However, when the seller shopped around and got bids from a few general contractors, their repairs came back at $110,000 to $130,000. We're licensed contractors. We get materials and labor at wholesale. General contractors, though, here in the San Diego area are in high demand right now, and all the retail ones are really taking advantage of this hot market and bumping up their prices. When you have a seller that thinks they can get a job done cheap, that might not be the case, and I would encourage you to encourage them to get some bids to see what numbers they're really dealing with. In this particular situation, again, if you add the $120,000 in repairs about that the seller might pay to get the property retail ready, they're also going to incur 5% in selling fees, realtor commissions, and maybe 1% in closing costs. And if you do the math, that means that even if they were able to sell that property for $575,000, they'd only net about $420,000 after all that work and all that hassle. In this situation, we were going to offer the seller $430,000, which really kind of irritated the seller at first because it was a big difference from that $575 number that they were fixated on. And of course, at $430 minus 5% in your realtor commissions, they would net about $408,000. So if you compare these numbers to this number, there is about a $12,000 difference between selling to an investor and taking a quick cash offer versus doing all that work and then listing the property on the MLS. Now for 12 grand, is it worth it? To some sellers it might be, but to some sellers they might say, you know what, it's not worth the risk, not worth the extra time, we just want to get out. And as an agent, well, initially the numbers can be quite a big difference. If you present them and present it in this way, you might help the seller realize that a net offer might be the best bet for them, especially in this market where the future is quite uncertain. So anyway, Eric Lucas over at GG Homes. Give me a call if you've got a client that has a fixer. We would love to buy it. 858-276-0713.